Hello and welcome to the PFFUI podcast. On this month's episode, President Tony Murray and Vice President Hank Harris review the fall district meetings, Movember, and Firehouse cooking during the holiday season. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the PFFUI podcast. My name is Eric Shoib. I'm joined today by President Tony Murray and Vice President Hank Harris. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
I'm doing well, too. I'm a little punchy today, but
Yeah.
I'm doing well. You know, it's
Yes.
gearing up for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is the week of Thanksgiving. It's a short week for most people across the state of Indiana. Not for our members because we work 24/7, 365, but it's going to be a great holiday season. I can feel it already.
I can feel it, too. Hank, what do you feel?
I feel it.
Do. It's good to have Hank here.
Hank is always a value add to the podcast.
Yeah. And talking about this, we all came to an agreement that we're going to kind of keep this podcast a little light, right?
Yeah,
For the holidays.
for sure. So we have actually been up to a lot of things the past couple months here throughout the state of Indiana. We've hosted our fall district meetings in October, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. So the end of October, 1st of November. So we started out with the 4th district, which is Indianapolis. They kind of had theirs on a one-off in October, and then we hit the road November 1st for the rest of the 5 districts all across Indiana. All of those district meetings bring together the local officers from our affiliates in those districts around the state. We bring all of our principal officers, so myself, Hank, J.C. Mitchell. You were there, Eric, for some of them, you know, as a communications director. We also have our political director, Cody Lever, there, and our data operations director, Ross Sergi, because he's got a lot of information on projects that he's working on with the different locals on data and helping with contract negotiations and prep for all of that. And then we even had our 8th district vice president, Mark Sanders, from the IAFF. He made all of the district meetings. I thought it was pretty successful. Good talk, don't you think, Hank?
Absolutely. It's always good to get out and talk to the local leaders across the state. And
Yeah. So if I can remember, so we, outside of Indianapolis, on the 1st, we started in Valparaiso for the 1st district meeting. Then the next day we were in Muncie for the 2nd district meeting. And then we were in, where did we go? Oh, yes, back to Indianapolis for the 5th district meeting. And then headed down to Evansville for the 3rd district meeting. And then the next day we were over in Jeffersonville to wrap it up. It's a long week, but I kind of like doing this all in one week. I think it's a good use of time and good discussions. And I think we connected a lot of things. Talk a little bit about the resources the PFFUI provides, some of the progress that PFFUI has had over the last year since our last fall district meeting tour. Gave a little preview of our legislative priorities, which we're not going to talk about today yet, but that's for...
stay tuned for another episode.
Stay tuned, because we're gearing up for the 2026 legislative session, of course, and been working on some things throughout the summer with legislators. So we'll be bringing that in a different podcast. But and then we, you know, I think probably one of the things, I don't know what you think, Hank, but the district meeting also gets us an opportunity to, you know, these things run about 3 hours, to really hear from the local officers in each of the districts and see what's been going on in there.
Get their feedback, find out what's going on.
Yeah, kind of get some updates. So I think it was a good tour. And, you know, some would say that the fall district meetings is my favorite week of the year.
I think I would say that the fall district meeting is your favorite week of the year.
It is.
I would say that as well.
Okay. I say that too. Yeah. Then just a couple weeks ago, I think going on almost 2 weeks ago, we assembled the board, the PFFUI executive board, which is made up of our 6 district vice presidents, 3 principal officers, and members of staff and the regional trustees for our fall executive board meeting, where we kind of chart the path for the upcoming year for the PFFUI. So we've got a lot in store, I think, from conferences to different workshops and education things coming up for 2026 that we're planning. And I think we had a successful meeting. So with all of that, I mean, based on all of the district meetings we had, the executive board meetings, any of our members who are listening, or if you didn't get a chance and you're a local officer to attend those district meetings, reach out to your district vice president and they can fill you in on some of the information that we went over. So also like gearing up for the legislative session.
Yeah.
We had org day.
Yeah. So last Tuesday was the official start of the 2026 session with Organization Day, where the legislators return to the State House, kind of gearing up for the next session.
They get organized.
Both chambers come in. Everybody's back. We always call it like the first day of school.
It is.
Hitting the lobby again.
Yeah.
Making our rounds. We were there for the whole time. It's good to see all the lobby back and the legislators back.
Staff, some of our old friends.
Yeah, staff.
Yes, and I think it's noteworthy. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting time. Typically, they come in for the one day and then set the day when they're going to come back in January after the holidays to really begin the session. Both chambers, the House and Senate, passed a resolution that said that they would be back after Org Day on January the 5th. But we learned some news just today as we're recording this. Yeah.
That it sounds like the House will be coming back December 1st, and the Senate will be coming in the following week on December 8th.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't realize that. So we're going to be back at the State House next week.
Yeah, getting an early start.
So this is the special session, I guess, as we call it.
Special, short.
Yeah, so maybe share with the listeners about why the PFFUI legislative team is there for this special session, because we think we have an idea of what it's about, but it could be really anything, right?
Yeah. So the governor, as most people have read or picked up through media, at the end of October, called a special session, which called the legislature back for the purpose of considering redistricting the congressional maps. And to your point, Eric, one of the reasons that we need to be there is because there's really not a limitation on what can be introduced as bills during that legislative session. So I've been involved with a couple of different special sessions, and each one is unique and each one's a little bit different. This will be Hank's first special session. And Cody's first special session.
Another first.
Yeah, so it's important that we're there just in case, just like we do in every regular session. We're monitoring any bills of file that have an effect on our members' professional issues. So we'll be there monitoring bill filings and just seeing what the legislature does in the special session. And then, of course, they come back in January for the 2026 session.
I think while they're focusing on the whatever they do during the special session, we also get a chance to talk to legislators and talk about our priorities looking forward to when they come back in January.
Yeah, and that's another show. But we're looking at draft bills now, actually, and some of the things that we worked on over the summer. So we're presently reviewing those. And, I think it's important too for our listeners to realize that really the main mission of the PFFUI in terms of what our founding mission is, just like all state associations, is to be the legislative advocate for things that affect our members. So that's our main mission. We do a lot more at the PFFUI than just that. Thanks to a great bunch of officers and really a bunch of staff that we put together that are really focused on delivering for all of our 9,200 members across the state.
So as November comes to a close, we have to talk about Movember. And I did not say November, I said Movember.
I heard you, Movember. So I think for those who don't normally wear mustaches, like most firemen do.
Correct.
Although none of us
have a mustache.
There are no mustaches here. That this has been something that is sort of an annual tradition to recognize the importance of kind of monitoring your health as, as a guy, right? So the Movember mustache has been around, I think, I don't know, for a decade or something. At least.
Been around for a while.
A lot of our members do that, again, who don't have mustaches. But I think one of the things I want to talk about is, in all seriousness, is saying, there's a lot of things that we focus our attention on, throughout the course of the year. Sometimes it's not focusing on ourselves. And I think this month, November or Movember, I think we got to call out and say, let's make sure that you take time for yourself. And what do I mean by that? I think that it's important that we pay attention to our own bodies and kind of what it's saying. I know that as you get older, things change. Your body starts talking to you a little bit different. You get pains and things and start
getting out of bed.
Yeah, things start happening. But I think in all seriousness, one of the things that's really important is those annual physicals. And I think our departments have made investments, our locals have made investments in making sure that we get an annual physical that's very comprehensive. The type of work that we do, I think, lends itself to some different elevated risks, whether that be for, disease processes or injury, orthopedic injury, or, occupational cancer, whatever it is, but also thinking about mental health from a total health perspective, making sure that you're getting your physical, getting checks, is important, and
following up with your own personal doctor.
Yeah. What'd you just do today?
I just had my physical with my personal doctor today.
Yeah.
Nice job.
I got scheduled and an order for a colonoscopy, which
well, that's important.
I'm due.
Yeah.
Be my first one.
You might be a little overdue.
I'm a little overdue. I'm about a year overdue.
Yeah. So,
right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But they say, I've read some studies too and some articles that really encourage firefighters due to the risk environment to seek colonoscopies even before the recommended 45. 45 is recommended, I think, for somebody who's not, at high risk or a firefighter. So, yeah, get your colonoscopy. I think the other thing is, making sure we're checking the blood work. That generally comes with the fire department physicals. If you're not getting the fire department physical, make sure that you're getting that done, through your own primary care physician, because we all know that catching things and conditions early really provide an opportunity for a better outcome for, to get these things corrected, whatever these things are. Yeah. What about you, Eric? You got any perspective on?
Yeah, no, I think that getting checked early is very important. We are very lucky with where we work that we get cancer screenings along with a very thorough annual physical. But this is important. Firefighters have an increased risk for colon cancer due to our occupational exposures. We're also 2 times higher than the general public at risk for testicular cancer. So these are things that we have to pay attention to, and we have to listen to our bodies. I know that the older generations than us in the fire service, they were very tough and they didn't really monitor these things. Now it's becoming more and more prevalent as we continue to have friends and loved ones become diagnosed with cancer. And now we have the tools and resources available that they might not have had. So take advantage of these resources. Most of the time they are at little to no cost, and just schedule it. Hank and I had talked about going together to get a colonoscopy at one time because
one of our road trips.
Yeah, one of our road trips, just because I turned 40 this year. And like Tony was saying, that they want people around 35, 40 in the fire service to get that colonoscopy done because of our enhanced risk to the disease.
I know that I've had mine, and as they say, you hear about it, the prep is the worst part.
Right.
The getting ready. But it was the best 15-minute nap that I ever took. And luckily, I didn't really have anything negative come back, but that's good.
Yeah.
And getting that taken care of early is important. I think too, like I said, just regular blood work,
Yeah.
will indicate you if you have some other things going on, like just, high cholesterol. Yeah. And you work to get that, taken care of. Maybe some medication helps, but changing some lifestyle stuff.
Blood sugar
Could help. Yeah. Blood sugar. Just other panels, make sure that the liver, kidneys are functioning well.
Right.
And don't forget, we're now kind of developing a list here that we're rattling down, but as we talk, skin cancer.
Yep. Check your moles.
Yeah. And that's important, and kind of keeping an eye on those things. And the mental wellness check. So I think it's important, whether you have, a department provided EAP, or you have employee assistance program, or you have some other model for mental health care in your department. I've heard mental health clinicians and professionals that we talk to, as part of our peer support and things, our peer support network here at the PFFUI, and other people who we discuss this with, military folks and our counterparts in law enforcement. Anymore, having a yearly check on your mental wellness is good too, which means just schedule an appointment and going and talking to somebody and seeing how things are, even if you don't seem to have anything bothering you per se. Right?
Even at my physical this morning was anxiety and a depression. The quick little 5 questionnaire that you can do. And even my personal physician's doing that as part of an annual physical now.
Yeah. I think that all of those things are important. And, we know guys, right? And we're not necessarily the first ones to say, yeah, let me go make that appointment. Or, sometimes, our mothers, sisters, wives got to drag us,
Right.
It seems like, our female members are a little bit, better at, making sure that they're getting themselves, checked by their physicians and things, and paying attention to what's going on. I think that's the reality. The other thing you mentioned, testicular cancer and things like that, doing the self-exams are important as well. But one thing and I've recently had some acquaintance of mine, or that I learned, males, that they were diagnosed with breast cancer, which is an actual thing too that we sometimes forget about. So I think that those are important things. And it's I think if we make it a little more customary to make sure that we're getting ourselves checked, as men. I mean, on the female side of things, it's mammograms have been really sort of customary and almost just a automatic thing for females. I think we can do better too as males, to make sure that we're paying attention. I think you mentioned those screenings. I know that was something at 416, Hank, your home local, offered through ultrasounds.
Yeah.
And then also some lung screenings too, I think, right? Weren't they doing that?
Yeah, they do the low dose CT scans.
Yeah. But, I think that it can't be overstated. And not just thinking about it and pausing to say, oh yeah, it's, Movember, and,
Right.
I think that actually taking action. So if you know that you're overdue for your colonoscopy, if you haven't done a testicular exam, if you haven't had, your skin checked, you haven't had your blood work, just make an appointment and do it.
Yeah. Our job's taking care of others, and you got to take care of yourself.
That's right. One thing I want to plug too is our own Tim Gallagher, who is one of our peer support coordinators for the PFFUI Peer Support Network, just had an article published in the Crackle magazine.
Nice.
On sort of peer support, resiliency, and pausing to sort of figure out where you are in life. So I would encourage our listeners to look up the most recent issue of Crackle magazine and see Tim Gallagher's article. I think it was really well done.
We are coming up on Thanksgiving. Today is Tuesday. Thanksgiving is on Thursday.
Yes.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving memory, Tony?
My favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we've had episodes in my family of problems with the turkey over the years. Whether that was an overdone turkey, or one year, the underdone turkey that maybe didn't get quite thought out.
Little rare.
Both of which were disasters, and everybody likes to forget about it. But in all seriousness, I like to think about Thanksgiving as a sort of an opportunity, whether you're at the firehouse or you get to be home with your family. It's sort of the opening of the holiday season, the where we are spending a little more time with family, friends, kind of looking at things differently,
Winding down the year.
yeah, looking at the year, kind of reflecting, but then also you're in a position to think about, the coming year. So, I just kind of like the holidays. The holidays, when you're in the fire service or EMS or, in public safety, aren't always normal.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We always have somebody working.
Mhm.
Somebody's always, ready to respond. But I would also say that the variety of different opportunities to connect and cook and that sort of thing is also fun too. Are you a good firehouse cook, Hank?
Well, I'd like to think so, but
Yeah.
the jury's out.
Yeah. What's
Throwing down, but
what would you throw down? What's your best throwdown? What do you got?
best one I've done. I know the worst one I did. I messed up gumbo one year.
Oh, how do you mess up gumbo?
You burn the roux and don't know it.
Oh, until you taste it.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of time, and I was on a busy squad and catching runs and didn't realize it till it was done, and we ended up having pizza that night. There's always pizza.
There's always pizza. That's right.
Fall back.
Or a crave case.
How dare you burn the roux? I think that whether it's the holidays or whether it's just a shift at the firehouse, the meal is important. Would you agree, Eric?
Yeah. So I always believe that the crew that eats together the crew that eats together are your better crews, just from the standpoint of that you gather around the table, you can tell stories. Usually when you gather around the table, rank doesn't really matter. Like everybody is a open book at that point. But yeah, I mean, food around the firehouse is very important to our culture.
It's a necessity, because you got to eat.
Yep.
And most firehouses, maybe they do breakfast, but some firehouses might
It's usually weekends.
definitely do lunch, but then dinner, of course. But it is kind of a time to come together, do the essential thing, eat the nutrition, but also it's enjoyable and it's an opportunity to sit down and, as they say, chew the fat.
Break
bread, as long as you don't burn the roux.
Right.
What's your favorite throwdown? This very important and telling time, the fire.
Yeah. I make a good meatloaf. You have actually had my firehouse meatloaf.
I have.
And you were very disrespectful and didn't even know about it.
I was like,
so
how would I possibly?
Yeah.
Did I eat it or did
So we were working at Station 71 in downtown Noblesville, and Tony had been out on runs for most of the day. So Tony was in his EMS duty officer car, and I believe I was on the engine, and I made meatloaf for the guys downtown. So Tony came back about an hour after dinner, and I saved him a plate of my meatloaf because I am sure that Tony's going to be hungry, and I don't want him to go without. You
got mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah,
too.
I have green beans, I have mashed potatoes, and I have meatloaf. And then so I go, hey Tony, there's a plate for you in the refrigerator, and you can go warm it up. He goes, oh hey, thanks, Shoaib, I appreciate it. I'm like, yes, no problem. So Tony puts it in the microwave, brings it out, eats it, and he goes, oh, this is actually really good. I had no idea that this would be this good. And I was just like, oh, thanks, Tony. I appreciate that.
I always get a little nervous when somebody announces that they're cooking meatloaf because meatloaf can also, as my dad used to say, could be baked hamburger.
It can go a couple ways. Yeah.
Or you can make it actually an entree. And you know what, Shoaib, you reminded me. You made it an entree.
It was a tray.
One thing I cannot make meatloaf. I've tried and tried. I don't get the egg and the breadcrumb.
We can get that going for you, right?
I'm just not.
Yeah.
I love meatloaf.
Consult Shoaib.
Yeah. And the best thing about meatloaf is meatloaf sandwiches the next morning.
That's true. God, it's so good.
Yeah. Well, I also, there's holiday meals are
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of special. But I'm a planner, right? So
Oh, yeah.
generally, the Firehouse, I cook the holiday meals. I wanted to,
Yep.
because meals are better the more love they have put in it. And,
That's
put a
true.
lot of love into my cooking,
Yes. I love
right? Yeah, you
The
get
secret ingredient.
But the always thinking about the menu is, and while you're cooking, and I know that, people listening to this are going to probably relate if you've ever been to the Firehouse, but you're always waiting for the tone to go off. And is the meal going to be ruined? Because you got to go take a call, that's what we're there for. It happens, but we have to sort of figure out how do we how do we become resilient from the meal that as soon as you sit down, the bell's going off and you're going to go take care of a call. I think that there's a few tricks maybe to that. Always have something that you can warm back up, that
Yes.
maybe you add a little ingredient outside of love, like maybe some sauce or a gravy or something, because always the risk is cold food, rewarmed, gets dry.
Yeah.
And nobody likes dry food. Like cats, you like wet food.
I like wet
better.
food. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No kibble here.
No kibble.
What about
Real pet. You
what's
got to
the-
get that real food.
So, Hank, what type of meals at the Firehouse for holidays? Is there any difference?
Not usually. Usually Thanksgiving, I do turkey. I've been at a couple of houses where we go against turkey because we know everybody's having turkey when they get home, either the day before or the day after. So sometimes we'll do something different. Done red beans and rice and stuff like that.
For Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
How do you do the turkey at the Firehouse? Fried, baked, grilled?
Typically roasted in the oven.
Really?
At home this year, I'm going to smoke a turkey and roast a turkey. So
Nice.
I did deep fry a turkey one time and lit my deck on fire.
You didn't follow the safety protocols.
I did not measure the oil appropriately. And, when the propane tank's on fire because the oil boiled over and your wife's screaming at you and the deck's on fire, just go shut the propane off. It takes care of the problem.
You probably rushed. Shoot. That's a big no-no. Rushing the turkey,
Yeah.
slowly.
And make sure it's thawed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a little gun shy on the fried turkey,
That's
but
fair. I can see why.
done it at the Firehouse. I
Yep.
haven't, but I've had it. I stick with the oven because you can put it in. You're good for a couple hours. If you're busy and catching runs, it can just sit in there and
And since working a holiday on shift, we've also had a lot of families.
Yeah.
The years that will come in that maybe they're catching the second half or the first half, and so having families come to the Firehouse when you're on duty is kind of an interesting challenge because you're cooking now for more people, but it is also pretty fun. I know that we've ran out of space before, so we've had to set up the
tables in the bay.
the dining room tables in the bay, and do things a little bit different, but it kind of makes it.
You still get that family time.
Yeah. And I think
Your extended family.
yeah,
Right.
and having the little guys and gals around, and I worked with people over the years that watch their kids grow up, and that's one of their best memories is coming to the Firehouse because not every kid gets to do that.
I remember going as a kid to see my dad at the Firehouse.
Yep. Same.
It was always a good time. I still know some of the other kids that I've met back then.
I didn't go visit my dad at the Firehouse on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. He worked for 7-Up for a long time, so particularly on Christmas morning, sometimes we go to the grocery store, the big high volume grocery stores, and stock pop.
Oh, nice.
Because it's got to be there if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
people to buy it. That's a little different memory. I wasn't at Firehouses; I was in supermarkets.
It's the same.
They got fixed there too.
right?
But it only, but I would go because that it would get him home quicker, right? So
Right.
I would go and help him
So you would make it quicker, not longer.
quicker. Yeah.
It could go either way.
So holiday meals at the Firehouse.
Yeah. I always like cooking. Like I like, even if I'm not the cook, being in there and talking to whoever the cook is and hanging out. It's kind of, you think about holidays when you're cooking at home and the family's around, you're in the kitchen, but you're still entertaining and everybody's around there. You kind of do the same thing at the Firehouse. And just getting to talk to your crew while you're cooking, and little some shenanigans, and
Yeah,
a little messing with each other.
Right.
I'm a pretty decent cook. I think I'm known to be that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I can put down some good meals that are Italian beef sandwiches.
Those are good.
Yeah, those are real good. Yeah.
And what else? A good lasagna.
Yeah.
Can't pass up a good traditional lasagna. There's some other things, grilled stuff and different stuff, but you're feeding a lot of people, so you got to kind of plan. But I always liked giving tips. You're talking about, here's some cooking tips for people that maybe aren't, very good yet at cooking.
Firehouse is where I learned how to make sausage gravy.
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know how to make gravy till I went to the Firehouse.
Yeah.
And I learned the tricks of the trade there.
How do you make it?
Brown the sausage, leave the grease in, put the flour in, get the sausage
How
coated.
much flour?
I go by color of what the sausage looks like when you coat it.
Mine is, not a lot.
Tablespoons.
Yeah,
A couple tablespoons.
I just kind of keep, depends on the oil. Sometimes you got to put a little extra butter in there because there's not quite enough flavor down there.
Yeah.
I was always taught to frost the mountains. So you would just take like a cup of flour and then just kind of do a light coat over the entire sausage.
Kind of want to, I don't know how to describe the color, but
Nutty, almost hazelnutty.
Hazelnuts.
Great hazel.
Yeah, get that.
Then what happens?
Then you add the milk in, and
then
it's not too hot. Yeah, you can't have the heat up when you're adding the milk.
And like milk is like more of an eye test because you have to look at consistency at that point.
I've never really measured when I cook. I just throw a little of this, throw a little of that.
Constant stirring.
Yeah. One hot, one mild sausage, so it's a medium.
And then seasoning is the key.
Oh, yeah.
Seasoning's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Seasoning.
Well, that, and then you have to also know your crew too, because there are guys that'll put ketchup on everything, just regardless of what you cooked. You're like, I'm just going to throw some ketchup on this. Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Grill steak and throw some Heinz.
So what I will do is that I will put a random condiment.
Yeah, meatloaf.
Right. Yeah. But
I like barbecue sauce on that.
I will always put a random condiment out just to see if somebody will use it. Like that, like doesn't go with the meal, and just to see if they use it or not.
You're very strange.
Do they use it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm very curious sometimes.
Whatever your entertainment.
That's right. It's just, just for me. Just for me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't like chopping onions.
I don't like that either, yeah.
I don't like that. A little trick though is to get the pro beat to chop the onion.
Yeah.
For you.
For sure. Yeah.
But I always give them this little hint too, hey, we've got gloves around, so medical gloves.
Yeah.
Right? So wear a pair of medical gloves, and your hands don't smell like onions, especially when you got to chop like a whole bag of onions.
Right.
Also a trick if you're cutting up jalapenos or peppers.
Yeah.
Wear the
gloves.
Yeah. Always wear gloves while cooking is what I'm picking up from this.
Always.
So
BSI scene safe.
BSI scene safe.
And so is this cooking.
All right. So then what?
This meatloaf is safe.
Yes. This meatloaf's very safe.
Oh, but no, that's another thing. Talking so much meatloaf.
Yeah.
When you're making meatloaf and the amount you have to make, right?
Yeah.
You can't stir that stuff. You got to get your hands.
Gotta get your hands in there. Put some gloves on, get your hands in there.
Maybe you're not mixing it. So you got to wear the gloves so you can actually get all of the ingredients mixed into the ground beef properly. Maybe that's what you're missing, Hank.
Yeah. So
No,
you use your hands?
I use my hands.
You wear gloves?
I always wait till like mine is like sticky.
Yeah.
It is like when I know that it's mixed up enough, is that if it's sticky, then I can put it in the oven.
I've tried.
So we have talked about the good stuff. What are some Firehouse meal faux pas? Like what are some things that you shouldn't make?
Pete's Pride.
Huh? What's that?
Little frozen tenderloins that you buy. You can tell people who don't know how to cook, they buy those Pete Pride.
Yeah.
Frozen tenderloins. They come in little.
Okay. They like come in that yellow box.
Yeah, they look like little hockey pucks. Not a big fan of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll still eat them, but.
Right.
I'm going to say, and this comes from an experience, I did not prepare this meal, but, at Costco or Sam's or whatever, you can get these frozen bag of tilapia fillets.
Yeah.
Well, these were prepared for us one time. I'm not going to give any names. I don't want to embarrass him, but
What's it, Eric?
he didn't realize that you had a lot of things. And these things come out and they're cold in the center. I run a bake sheet. First of all, it wasn't well done.
It's like the opposite of a hot pocket.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say that the captain, who'd been around for a long time and grew up on a farm, that was kind of the last straw for him because he was a meat and potatoes kind of guy. He called himself the dinosaur. He wanted to have some meat, potatoes, and vegetable very squared away, right? But those tilapia fillets, that's terrible. That was a bad thing, especially when they're not all the way cooked.
Yeah.
Right.
I've used them for fish tacos. You can get them
You can get away with that.
Like blacken.
Yeah, but you
blacken them.
Yeah, if you don't thaw
you got to cook them, right?
Yeah, maybe a little seasoning.
It's not sushi here. Like,
the other thing is, and this was also an experience that at the Firehouse, salad is not necessarily a meal.
No.
It shouldn't ever be trying to be passed off as one.
And like you can make as many salads as you want. Like you can make chicken salad, you can make taco salad, you can make Caesar salad.
no, taco salad.
I love
Like
taco
taco-
salad, but
They always
when the
make-
guy always cooks taco salad, like I can only have like taco salad once a month, you know?
Problem with taco salad, they always get too big. You can't make a
Yeah.
small taco salad. Like no matter, you can get a smaller bowl and it's still huge.
Which
just can't.
Yeah.
I don't think you can make a small taco salad. I don't.
No, you can't. And then it's always in that big metal bowl, like you don't know where it came from. But every Friday,
Like they would make a bowl of taco salad.
big bowl of taco salad.
We always made our own. Like you would
Yeah.
cook all the stuff, cut up everything, and then you make your own so you could put
Oh no, there are guys that will just put in like salad and
hamburger.
ground meat and cheese and Doritos and Mayfair dressing and just call it a day.
So we almost had our general counsel on, but he's on vacation this week because Keith is a really good self-taught chef. He's had some instruction too, but I mean, he's come a long way. When he was local in the area, he did a couple ride outs with me when I was a local president because he kind of wanted to get a perspective, as a newer attorney, kind of, representing,
Figure out what his clientele was.
Right, yeah. And to kind of see and kind of understand terminology and this and sort of thing. So he, over those ride outs, he walked away with this new realization that as long as if you're at the Firehouse making a meal, as long as you put Doritos in whatever you're cooking, then it's going to be a Firehouse meal. He still has this impression that there's only Doritos in every entree that firefighters make.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, would also say tater tots. Like if you put a tater tot on something, firemen will probably like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things.
So many.
Creative. A lot of, casserole type dishes go well.
One potters.
Otters.
Not half frozen tilapia.
No. Not burnt roux.
No.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is if you're going to do spaghetti,
Oh yeah.
you got to put love in it.
Right.
It can't be a jar of Prego and some cooked spaghetti.
Right.
Like that's not spaghetti.
No.
You got to do it right. You got to put some stuff in it and give it the love it needs.
Yeah. And like, please get garlic bread if you're making.
Oh, you got to have garlic bread.
Gotta have garlic bread.
Do you think that there's anybody left listening to this podcast?
No, there's no one else.
Probably all eating right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We're cooking.
I would say some takeaways here, and it is the holiday season, so we wanted to make this podcast a little more light. But I think here's a takeaway: if you're not hungry, you should be because of all this talk, and if you haven't got your colonoscopy or done your self checks for men's health, you should be doing that. Is that pretty much a bow on top of this?
Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Nice
Thanks.
job.
Well, this has been fun.
It's been
Hopefully there's somebody else listening right now. And hopefully they appreciate our little light-hearted podcast this November.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the PFFUI podcast. Follow us on social media by searching the Professional Firefighters Union of Indiana. For more information about news and upcoming events, visit www.pffui.com. Until next time, this is PFFUI Communications Director Eric Shoaib. Stay safe.